Good morning. Well, it doesn't look like it did. Since the last video of the cleaning issues with the truck, I've made a few modifications. Nothing major. This is a budget build. I'm not going crazy. So what I did some Pro Comp wheels, I believe with a 1.5 inch offset. They're Toyo Open Country RT 37 1250s. I did a 2.5 inch lift. The lift I chose was a mixture of parts. Nobody really had what I wanted. I didn't want to go with a 2-inch lift. I wanted a 2.5. And so I went with the Rough Country springs and spacers, springs in the front, spacers in the rear, Fox 2.0 shocks, Clayton Off-Road upper and lower front control arms. And the track bar was from Rough Country, the adjustable track bar on the front. Kind of wish I hadn't done that, but we'll see how that holds up. The moment it starts to get a little loose, I'm going to replace it. So I have a feeling the track bar will last a while as long as the lift was done properly and the components aren't fighting each other. Ran across a deal for $260 for this all steel EAG bumper, and went on ahead and picked it up. Like I said, that's a pretty good deal considering the reviews, and it looks pretty good. Like I said, I used the Fox 2.0 shocks, the Rough Country springs, the Clayton Off-Road adjustable upper and lower control arm. I also got Clayton Off-Road brackets for the brake lines. Have not installed those yet. And so future upgrades are going to be springs to get rid of the spacers in the rear, adjustable upper and lower control arms in the rear, and a rear track bar. Until somebody comes out with a set of springs I can buy for the rear, that's going to be on hold. And that could that could have already happened. It's been a couple weeks, and the items are coming out for this truck every week. You may ask why I didn't go with a lift kit from Evo, or I think they're one of the only companies offering comprehensive lift kits for these trucks. And I'm gonna be really honest, I'm not paying what they're asking. I'm sure they're the best in the industry, because I mean, gosh, everybody has wonderful things to say about them, but I'm not paying $4,000 to $5,000 for these components. I mean, the whole suspension kit minus springs from Clayton Off-Road will total about $1,400. That's upper and lower front control arm, upper and lower rear control arm, front and rear track bar, adjustable end links for the sway bars. I mean, that's everything would be about $1,400 to $1,500. You add in $400 for springs, you're at about, $1,800. I'm not paying $4,000+ from Evo. Nobody's going to convince me, unless you've worked in a shop and can tell me, yeah, Evo lasts twice as long. You'll get 100,000 miles out of Evo stuff. Since nobody can do that, or nobody has done that I can actually see that they're credible, I'm going to just stick with the Clayton. And another company I'll use probably is Metal Cloak. They seem to have really good reviews. So the other thing with Evo is they have reservoired shocks, which add massively to the price. These shocks are like, I think they're about $500 for both front and rear for Fox 2.0, and this is predominantly a road truck, so I don't do a whole lot of off-roading. That's not the main focus of the vehicle. The main focus of the vehicle is to get me to work and back and be able to have a little fun off-road. So I don't need reservoir shocks. Blowing out shocks was never an issue before these reservoir shocks came out, so I don't see why it's an issue now. Everybody likes to talk about it like, oh, heat. Well, not on washboard roads, and I'd rather replace the shock if it blows out than spend $600 or something like that on a shock. And you're not going to tell me that reservoir shocks perform better in slow speed crawling and slow speed trail riding. You're not going to convince me. You know, a vehicle like this, breakover and departure angle are going to become an issue long before suspension travel and the shocks are going to be an issue. The ride is great, by the way. It feels just like it did stock. I've had 3 people comment on that have been in the truck. They're shocked that the truck doesn't have any issues. The other thing that's really nice is the truck steers better. They added a little bit of caster into the alignment, and the truck steers better than it did stock. Where before you were constantly driving the truck down the highway, always having to make corrections, you don't really have to do that now. It pretty much just tracks straight, even with the larger tires. So yeah, quick little update.